Hey guys, and welcome back. I should probably start by saying thank you for watching all my videos. Over the past months I've been uploading videos on football. They've been watched by over 2.5 million people, which is hard to believe. And today, let's do something a little bit different, although still very football related. Today is July 13th, 2013. If you think about this, it's a normal day, but from the football perspective, it's a quite important one because exactly 1 year from now, we're going to have the final of the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. So what I thought I'd do is prepare a list of 10 favorites, 10 contenders, 10 best teams touted to win next year's World Cup. So I'm going to give you a short description of any team, of every single team on my top 10 list. And let's start the list. Brazil is, of course, an automatic favorite for any World Cup historically. And yet, the current Brazil has not been considered as the #1 favorite all the way until this year's Confederations Cup. Over there, back home, they played an extremely offensive, attractive football and made great use of one genius they have on their team, which is obviously Neymar. And then 10 solid players who know what they're doing and form a very efficient team which won all the games of the Confeds. Now, if they replicate this performance next year and withhold a gigantical pressure of their own people in the stands, they have a huge chance to win. All the more so because their coach is the master strategist, Luis Felipe Scolari, who not only won the World Cup already, back in 2002 with Brazil, but also made it to the World Cup semi-final with a pretty mediocre Portugal back in 2006. But the two defining factors for Brazil will be that first, they play it at home, at stadiums they know very well and a huge fan support. And second, that, well, they play at home with an immense pressure and expectations to play attractive, sexy football each game and win no matter what. So this actually forms their major obstacle at the World Cup, playing at home with pressure. If they can overcome this, they will be huge favorites to win the World Cup. Number 2 on my list, also not surprisingly, is Spain won 3 last major tournaments, 2 European Championships, 1 World Cup. Whatever the recent trauma of the Confederations Cup and a huge loss to Brazil, we cannot forget it's really a half-friendly tournament, kind of a warm-up before the real deal. Therefore, I would say Spain retained their position of the contender #1, well, maybe 1.5. This because with all the amazing generation they have and next generations getting ready to take over, a great deal of performance depends on what the old guard will do. If Xavi can pass as geniusly as usual, and if Iniesta can see as much as before, if Piqué and Ramos and Jordi Alba can, lock the Spanish goal, and then, as always, if Iker Casillas can save them all in dire moments, Spain might defend the title as only 3rd nation in history. But if the genius machine fails in some elements, we might see the end of this chapter and kind of a change of guard, which wouldn't be that bad in the overall balance of the world football. And then my favorite, number 3 in this group of biggest favorites to win is, of course, Germany, whose biggest strength next year might actually be frustration. Think about this. Germans as a national team haven't won anything since 1996. Most of us probably don't even remember Euro 96 when they last won. It was 18 years ago. Ever since, not only the national team failed numerous times, but look at the club teams. Borussia won the Champions League in 97, Bayern in 2001, and then they had to wait 12 years for any sort of success on the international stage. And only this year, in a big resurrection of German football, those two teams, Bayern and Borussia, met in the Champions League final at Wembley. So Germans as a nation might finally feel their time has come. This is matched by maturation for many players like Klose, Podolski, Mario Müller, Mario Gomez, and then by the golden age for Mesut Ozil, Sami Khedira, or Bastian Schweinsteiger. All those players have played together for years and under one and the same coach, Joachim Löw, ever since 2008. And also, let's not forget Germany is the ultimate tournament team. They know when to play their full potential and when to take it easier. And they're very good, usually, at tricking their opponents tactically. In the past 10 years, from 2002 to 2012, they failed to reach semifinals, the medal zone, if you will, only once. So they've been around many times over, and they will be a very serious contender next year. What follows now is a group of teams that are not super top favorites, not solid iron favorites, whose win might be a little bit more of a surprise, but they're still excellent teams. And to kick off this group, number 4 on my list will be Italy. Certainly doesn't have such an inspired team or such a talented team like back in 2006 when they won the World Cup, and yet there's a good balance within the team. Of course, there's no Cannavaro, no Luca Toni, no Totti, but it's a nice combination of old, in a good way, meaning experienced, like Gigi Buffon or especially Andrea Pirlo, with a certain degree of craziness in players like Giovinco, and of course, and to a very high degree, Mario Balotelli. So the biggest strength of Italy can be this balance. Also can be their good tournament experience from the Euro 2012, as well as lack of extremely high expectations back home. And then, last but not the least, their coach, Cesare Prandelli, a very good strategist, a bit like Scolari, but with less talent to work with. He managed to win against England and Germany at the Euro 2012, succumbing only to far superior Spain in the big final. If Prandelli and his tactical sophistication can prevail one more time, Italy will be right up there with the biggest favorites. Next, number 5, let's talk a little bit. What is Netherlands' biggest strength? Well, despite their catastrophic performance at the Euro 2012 and a little bit less vibe around the team than usual, I actually think the Oranje might be a serious danger to just about anyone. They carry a little of this German syndrome, only magnified. Many guys who won a lot with clubs, who have been roaming Europe for years, now face the ultimate mission, almost a generational mission, to withhold the pressure and remove the curse of their national team. Remember, 3 World Cup finals, no victory. Van Persie, Robben, Van der Vaart, Dirk Kuyt, Wesley Sneijder. A generation of amazing players with no final national team success. You never know. If they will be able to motivate themselves for big clashes, like they did against Brazil and against Uruguay back in 2010, they will be serious contenders for the World Cup title. Number 6 on my list is the hosts